The mirror lied. Every morning, I stared into it, expecting to see myself, my own eyes, my own face, but it was her who stared back. Lilith. Her crimson eyes glowed faintly, even in the daylight, and her lips curled into that same cruel, seductive smile. I could feel her inside me, a presence that coiled around my thoughts like a serpent, whispering things I didn't want to hear, but couldn't ignore. You're mine now. Her voice echoed in my mind, soft and sultry, like a lover's caress. And you always will be. I tried to fight it. I tried to claw my way back to who I used to be. But the more I resisted, the stronger she became. Her whispers grew louder, more insistent, until they drowned out everything else. And then there were the cravings. It started with the taste of copper in my mouth. At first I thought it was just my imagination, a lingering memory of that night in the forest. But then I woke up one morning with my lips stained red, my hands trembling, and a raw, gnawing hunger in the pit of my stomach. I tried to ignore it, to push it down, but it was no use. The hunger was always there, a constant, aching need that I couldn't satisfy. And then I saw him. He was standing on the corner of the street, his coat pulled tight against the cold, his breath visible in the frosty air. I didn't know his name, didn't care. All I knew was that I could hear his heartbeat, steady and strong, like a drum calling to me. My mouth watered, my fingers twitched, and before I knew what I was doing, I was following him. Lilith's laughter echoed in my mind, low and throaty. That's it, darling, she purred. Give in. I didn't want to. I didn't. But my body wasn't mine anymore. It was hers, and she was hungry. The man led me down a narrow alley, oblivious to the predator stalking him. My heart raced, my breath coming in shallow gasps as I closed the distance between us. And then I was on him, my hands gripping his shoulders, my teeth sinking into his neck. The taste of his blood was like nothing I'd ever experienced. Rich, warm, intoxicating. It filled me, consumed me, until there was nothing else. When I came back to myself, the man was gone. There was no trace of him, no evidence of what I'd done. But I could still taste him on my lips, still feel the warmth of his blood coursing through my veins. And Lilith, she was there, in the back of my mind, her laughter a dark, sultry melody. You see, she whispered, this is what you are meant for. This is who you are. I wanted to scream, to cry, to deny it, but I couldn't. Because deep down, in the darkest part of my soul, I knew she was right. Then, one night, she spoke to me in a way she never had before. There's something I need to show you, she said, her voice a low, sultry whisper. Something you need to see. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to see. But I didn't have a choice. My body moved on its own, carrying me through the darkened streets to a part of the city I'd never been to before. The buildings were old, crumbling, their windows dark and empty. The air was thick with the scent of decay, of something long forgotten. And then I saw it. It was a house, or what was left of one. The walls were blackened, the roof caved in, but there was something about it. Something that called to me. I stepped inside, my heart pounding in my chest. And that's when I saw them. The bodies. They were everywhere, scattered across the floor like broken dolls. She was more beautiful than I remembered, her hair cascading down her back like a waterfall of night, her eyes glowing like embers in the darkness. But there was something different about her. Something wrong. Her skin was too pale, almost translucent, and her smile was too sharp, too cruel. Welcome home, darling, she said, her voice a sultry purr that sent shivers down my spine. I tried to speak, to ask her what this place was, what she'd done, but the words caught in my throat, choking me. And then she was in front of me, her hand reaching out to caress my cheek. Her touch was ice cold, but it burned like fire. "You're mine now," she whispered, her lips brushing against my ear. And I never let go of what's mine. The last thing I remember is the feel of her teeth sinking into my neck, the pain sharp and sweet, like a forbidden pleasure. And then, nothing. When I woke up, I was back in my bed, the sheets dangled around me, my skin slick with sweat. But something was different. The room felt colder, the shadows deeper, and when I looked in the mirror, I saw her. Lilith. Her eyes glowing red, her smile cruel and seductive. But this time, there was something else. A faint, almost imperceptible flicker in the reflection. A shadow that moved when I didn't. A presence that wasn't hers. And then I heard it. A voice, soft and sultry, but not hers. A voice that whispered words I couldn't quite make out, but that sent a chill down my spine. "You're not alone," it said, "and you never were."